the Latter-day Saints, if any of you didn't know, in Emmett, the Latter-day Saints use what they use to create wards and towns separate from the contract of American public buildings, so street buildings for civilians, or public donation that creates a public school with whatever level of education that is given to that public school. Well, so in Emmett, because I grew up in Emmett, the Latter-day Saints have their own building on their own bought property right in front of the high school. There's their building, then there's the spot where there's parking for everybody's vehicle, and then there's the high school. And so Latter-day Saint students are actually on their own Latter-day Saint educational system schedule, because they have their own time, their own schedule that they can go into their seminar building, and they take those classes, seminar, during the school hours, unless they need like extra worship time before school starts, so they can still be on their Latter-day Saint property. And then they were able to be given a time that is separate from the high school, the state public high school, so that they can be on their own time in Latter-day Saint schedule, aligned with what they have created in contract to have an educational time for themselves that is at the same time as a public state educational school. And this was only achieved during the age of high school. The ages of high school. And so because of this, it also means that some senior or junior Latter-day Saint students that attend Emmett High School as a separate education sometimes take seminar in their last period that is aligned with high school, so that they can leave the public Emmett High School, state public high school schedule and attend Latter-day Saint education. And sometimes they're like, no, I'd rather take it in the morning, so that way I can align myself to a high school public education, and if I am already caught up on educational classes that are required, that means that I can have an early day and leave one period sooner so that they can leave both premises based on saying, well, I have other priorities that are also important, like taking care of family or friends' children, and it's a side job, and that is my responsibility. So I can't be here taking an extra class, an educational class for personal joy activities or fun activities that they say is not as much of a responsibility as providing that extra service for their job, because the school still has to check for who they are working for. And if it's not a public job that is for everybody, not Latter-day Saints, then it is let's call it like an in-community house job with a Latter-day Saint that has created that form of paperwork for their members that are still in high school and want to get out of school. Like there's or be more of a real member to the church, to the community of Latter-day Saints. And so they provide the school with this business title showing that these students are leaving school, both the public Emmett High School and the seminar building, to go to that educational opportunity under a job training for a high school student for technical work, because Emmett High School is a tech school in mechanics and engineering, in some form of business computers, in finances, in practical relation psychology, in food nutrition and food decoration, based on health related body to food symptoms, and has an enhancement in athletics, like achieve 3-4 bars if you are an athlete, so that you have opportunity to go further in any sport that you feel passionate about. And that also includes the last tech class is it's like so it's a drama class, but it's based on analytical focus on behavior and emotion, and recognizing both things as different categories, and then finding where both things interact with each other, and then locating that based on an individual self-decision or an environmental influence. So there's those things that is technical, and then obviously the last one would be the science classes. So the science classes also are technical related education, because it is a it's kind of like vocabulary book, and then kind of like anthropology, where you have time to have hands-on with certain chapters. So that is the reason for Emmett having the available space to work with the Latter-day Saint, providing a Latter-day student opportunity to have public school resources that is not from a Latter-day Saint educational system that they have created for themselves. And that's in Emmett, Idaho, as far as I know, because I went to Emmett High School, and I was part of their Emmett Junior High during the time where the high school partnered up with the middle school, because the middle school had high test scores that needed higher education brought down from the high school for all of the students, not just Latter-day Saints. All of them, including the ones with darker skin color. And that was back in 2009, and then, well, I started high school 2011? No, sooner, because by 9th grade, you are a high school student, but at that time, junior high could only be junior high if the 9th grade was a part of junior high and not a part of high school. So it meant that that group had double surveillance from the adults in the community, because it had the middle school, you're still going through puberty, and the high school that's like, and you're going through higher psychological maturity, educational puberty. So you have double the expectations to be well-mannered and mature. And everyone that I know, we had a full class to move on to the high school, which means that it is that high 90% of that year graduating onto 10th grade, and so on until the last graduation senior year, with all of us, 100% all of us, being accepted at a college or university. And that was in 2014 in Emmett, Idaho.
Yes. 。 。 。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。。।.